Hello, everybody, and welcome to this next interview with Data School alumni. And today I have William from DS6. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, yeah, good to be here.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, hi. So my name is William Guicheney. How to pronounce that because Andy, couldn't do it. But I was a member of DS6. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah. And how did you get into the Data School in the beginning?
So originally, I kind of stumbled across the information lab kind of randomly. I was looking to sort of start a career into the data fields.
Okay.
Really too sure how to do that. Heard about the Data School program. I thought it was a scam actually at the beginning because of how good it sounded. And then, applied during my uni days, and that's kind of how I ended up there.
And if I remember right, you interviewed for a different cohort and didn't tell us that you still had another job or you were still in school or something like that. Am I right?
Yes. Yeah, I think I applied for DS3.
DS3. Okay.
I think I didn't realize it would have, maybe I didn't think I would get the job. Maybe I wasn't too sure. Maybe I was kind of panicking a little bit, applied. And then when I did get it, then I thought, okay, let me be a little bit cheap.
Yes, let me be honest, finally.
Yeah.
What do you think it takes for people to be successful in the Data School during training?
It's a very good question. I think a mix, being curious, being afraid to taking advantage of all the opportunities that are given to you, all the people that you meet, and not being afraid to ask questions and to really kind of take advantage of all resources. And then I think humility probably, and not being afraid to say that you don't understand things, taking things a bit slowly, asking for help. Everybody will always be so happy to help you if you raise your hand. And so I think not being afraid, it's better to take advantage of all those resources around you and say, I need that extra help, rather than pretend that you understand everything at the Data School and then struggle afterwards, I think.
Yeah, and we see right through that as teachers. We've done it enough where we can tell when somebody really doesn't understand. Did you have imposter syndrome while you were in the DS?
Definitely, I think. And it was even a lot smaller back then. You kind of knew everyone, but I think, a lot of the people who worked there were really legends in the field already, so many and masters, and I think, it felt a bit daunting to start. But at the same time, everybody, I don't know, because you're being coached by people who are so skilled, you feel like, well, I'll be okay in the end.
So you didn't do anything in particular to overcome it?
No, I don't know. I think I just, I roll with the punches. I went with the flow. I think
kind of just got used to it after a while.
Yeah, and I think on all the placements, I also was placed with other Data Schoolers where I never really felt like I was alone. I think I really, Convo being there at all times, it felt like you always have the support you needed. I definitely felt imposter syndrome, but I felt like I was supported enough that it wasn't really that awful.
Yeah. And where were you for your 3 placements?
So my first placement, I was at JLL with Lee Gibbons, who was also part of DS6, and Will Griffith. And then I did 2 placements at BCG back to back.
And then you went to work for BCG after that, correct?
Yeah. Exactly.
And what were you doing for them?
So I was part of the Gamma team, which is sort of the data science branch of BCG. And within that, I was in the business intelligence kind of department. And so whenever strategy kind of, consulting team would be sent out, and if they needed specific BI help, I would get attached to that case. And then I would be their kind of data guy on that consulting team.
So you've always been interested in sustainability, innovation, scalable solutions, things like that. How has that led to you? How has that led you to the job that you have now?
Yeah, so this is very good question. I think, through the studies I did, I knew I wanted to have a job in the kind of development space. So trying to find, as you say, innovative, scalable, sustainable solutions to issues faced by people in mainly poor countries. But I kind of knew I wanted to do it through this lens of kind of data, because I have a geeky personality. I wanted a techie job. And so I kind of knew I wanted to be in that space, but working in data, which 5-6 years ago was even more vague than it is.
Right.
And so that's kind of how I randomly stumbled upon the Data School. But I think I kind of saw that, the skills I would learn, the different BI tools that were being used would be really, really useful in the sector. because a lot of nonprofits, a lot of development organizations, are really, just really don't know how to use data, don't know how to work data. There's not that many data professionals there. So I thought if we can take all these high impact tools and bring them to that sector, we could really, make a lot of organizations work a lot better than they do now. And so that was kind of the dream for me, to find like, can you use BI to help nonprofits kind of run better? That was kind of
And which nonprofits are you working with now?
So I kind of have two hats now. So I've been working Operation Fistula for the past 2 years, and I'm the analytics manager there. And so the role is really figure out how can we make all our day-to-day operations run as effectively, efficiently as possible. But on the side, I'm also kind of a co-founder of a small consultancy that hopes to kind of replicate what we did on Operation Fistula with other nonprofits. So kind of introduce kind of BI tools, and then do like strategy and data consulting for them.
It sounds like you've found work that is personally very gratifying. How important do you think that is for people? So, when people go through, it takes a series of jobs to go through in order to kind of find what you really are passionate about, but you seem to have found it very early in your career. What are some tips you have for people to find it earlier?
I mean, one, I think I also have days where I'm frustrated, where I'm not as
Of course, you do with every
like
job,
everyone.
Right?
Yeah. So I think the grass really is always greener, and I feel like you always kind of think, oh, you're so stuck in your own day to day that you'll look at other people's day to day and think a glorified image of it, of, oh, that must be a lot more gratifying, nicer. But the job is a job, has good days, bad days. But I do think I really try to take as much time as possible to think of what really makes me want to wake up in the morning, especially on those days you don't wake up, what kind of makes you think, oh, okay, come on, go do it. Like there's a purpose to this. And I think my BCG experience was very useful for that, because it was very intense. I did loads of work across loads of different sectors, loads of different companies. And so I got to try a lot of things. And I think doing that, I realized, there's a whole set of things I can tell I really don't like doing.
Right.
And I think by just doing it in a high intensity, high energy kind of way, I was able in a few years to learn a lot about myself. And I think learn a lot. The idea of I want to do nonprofits and be development space. And I think doing so many different cases at BCG made me see like, oh, there's a whole set of things I know I don't want to do. Yeah. Oriented me back to the kind of nonprofit space in a way. So
yeah, that's a great tip. So I hear from people a lot. How did you find work you're passionate about? But I think you're right. It's just as important to know what you don't like as it is what you do like, because then when you see those things coming, you can eliminate them or get rid of them or move into a new role, or you know what to look for when you're looking for a new job. Yeah. Speaking of, kind of your career after the data school, how do you think we prepared you for your post data school life?
I think really well. I mean, honestly, I think the data school program is still really quite incredible. I mean, I still think it sounds a little bit like a scam in the sense of, trained at the beginning, paid for that entire training phase.
You don't believe us yet?
A little bit. Now you're getting to the 30th cohort. Maybe I'll start, start believing it soon. But I think in terms of just the quality of the training that you do receive, and then the fact that you get so much hands-on experience with different clients, and then you're supported by this whole community of data professionals, you have access to Convo. I think that, the amount of learning you get between day one till when you leave is really crazy. I think you really come out a top kind of Tableau and Alteryx user, which is, really invaluable. So I think in terms of like your pure technical skills, but then also just the amount of experience you get, the confidence you build, I think you're really well prepared. And then you just have this huge network. And now the network is huge as well. But even back at the DS6 days, it already felt like a big network. So I didn't feel at all afraid of, oh, will I secure a job after this? It's more of, what kind of job do I want to have? You feel like, it removed any stress really from me of like, oh, will I secure something nice? It was more of, oh, I can pick and choose, and, like it opened a lot of doors. So
thank you very much for your time, William. And I hope to see you in person very soon.
Thank you. Yeah, me too. Thanks for your time, Andy.
All right. Talk to you later.